Do you love Total Warhammer but hate this whole pesky balance issue? Well, what if I told you there's a way to get the most powerful item in the game along with all of its positives, but ratchet it up even further, can be abused consistently and with absolutely none of the negatives? Interested? Alright, so before we get too far into it, I am working on another big long video. Don't worry, this isn't in replacement of that. It's going to take a while to come out still. Anyways, I discovered this little trick just screwing around the other day, and I kind of came to realize later on I'm not the first person to find it, but if you're going for the Sword of Cain and you do so as the Beastman, you can create a unanimously overpowered character without any possible issues from the Sword of Cain. But you can actually tweak it even better, and you can make it a guaranteed, consistently unkillable character. Now, unlike a lot of other things, this doesn't require, weird specific build or making, a specific rush to a certain technology or anything. You can do this consistently with any playstyle you want to do. No problem, and again, it makes for a character that is effectively unkillable. Step 1 is just to pick a Beastman faction. It doesn't really matter all that much. I, for example, was using the Famine Fiends, which is a modded faction, but if I was going to make a recommendation, it would be to use the Slaughterhorn tribe, the new one introduced by the last DLC, if only because it will let you abuse the crap out of the character that you're going to build even more consistently. Step 2, recruit either a Doom Bull or a Beast Lord. Now you can do this exploit with a legendary lord, but it's not going to work as well, and frankly it's kind of wasteful to replace the sometimes really cool unique weapons of the legendary lords with the Sword of Cain. Once you've got them, of course, find whoever has the Sword of Cain and proceed to kick their teeth in. Once you've got it, just keep pumping up the upgrades. Don't ever let the sword go back to the shrine. You want this thing to go all the way to max level. Unlike every other faction in the game, the Beastmen have absolutely zero downsides for holding on to the Sword of Cain. Whereas the Warriors of Chaos can kind of ignore the public order penalties, or the Tomb Kings can kind of ignore the upkeep penalties, the Beastmen can ignore everything, which puts them in a really unique position where the better the sword gets, there's no increasing penalty for keeping it. Step 3, while we're waiting on this to get to its maximum thirsting level, we're going to go over to the Dread section and start picking up some items. Right off the bat, get Champion's Essence. It's going to give you perfect vigor, regeneration, a 10% ward save, and a plus 20 to melee attack. This is going to make you go from a pretty effective lord to you can virtually hold the line on your own. Because you've got perfect vigor and regeneration running, you can just keep fighting almost indefinitely. You will eventually hit a regeneration cap, but I've only had that happen once, and that was against 3 full stacks against just my one single lord. After that, you're going to buy the Banner of Unholy Exaltation, and you're going to stick that banner, of course, right onto your legendary, or not legendary lord, the lord who's wielding the Sword of Cain. After that, you can pick up either the Mutated Gorgon Hide or the Cloak of Unreality. They're not the best options, but in a pinch, you can use them at least to get a decent armor save on your guy until you can get something better. Down the road, when you can get something that has a ward save, or at the bare minimum, better physical resist, go ahead and pick that, because neither one of these ones are too amazing on their own. So that's all the stuff you can buy for your lord right out of the gates, but we still want to keep our eyes open, because neither one of those armor choices are a particularly great one, and of course we still don't have an enchanted item. So for the enchanted items, it's pretty simple. There's only really 2 ones you would look at. Pendant of Slanesh, if you get it, it's an alright option. It'll give you a much needed speed boost, especially if you're using the Doom Bull. Plus it gives you plus 40 melee attack, not that that's necessary at this point in time. You have so much melee attack, whatever you swing at, it's definitely going to die. But, the speed bonus can be useful, especially to chase down someone like a lord on a horse where you might not be able to catch up to them. But your other and better option is, of course, the Chalice of Chaos. Now, this is very limited use, but each of those uses can dramatically shift the tide of the battle. You have a regeneration option that will give you up to 1500 health in one brief little moment. You've also got a huge ward save that will make you effectively unkillable for a little bit of time. And then you also have the ability to, I believe it's extra armor-piercing damage and possibly a poison effect. Again, kind of unnecessary on the last one, but if you're going up against something really tough, like a War Sphinx or something like that, you can quickly pop all 3 of those things and then kill anything that even looks at you funny. On the armor side of things, if you come across Troll Hide, you can replace either one of the purchased armors with that one. It'll tend to be a little bit better for that, but the even better option, if you can find it, is the Armor of Destiny. That one's going to get you plus 5 armor, plus 5 physical resist, and plus 10% to your ward save, and ward save is really the name of the game, what we're looking for here. You want to make it so that you don't have to regenerate as much as possible, and either physical resist or ward save are usually your 2 best options for pulling that off. Well, I mean, in the case of the Armor of Destiny, you're getting both of those things, so you're really, really going to be hard to put off. Once you've pulled all that off, congratulations, you have officially ruined the game. You now have a Lord whose physical resistance is probably north of 30%, whose ward save is going to be north of 20%, who has regeneration, perfect vigor, and can deal well over 1,000 points of damage, the vast majority of which is armor piercing. At this point in time, anything you look at is pretty much going to die. There was a few things I would change if I were to go back in time and do this. The biggest one being I would not use a Doom Bowl this time around. I would use a Wargore. The Doom Bowls have a really bad tendency to knock down enemy lords, which means you end up standing over top of them waiting for them to get back up as opposed to just killing things even faster. I also find that the Beast Lord's attack animations seem to be a bit better for things. The Doom Bowl, for whatever reason, tends to find its way over to the edge of an enemy combat sweep and then only hit like 1 or 2 units at a time, which can be kind of a waste. You end up with massive overkill. Anyways, though, that's going to wrap it up for this one. Like I said, I am still working on the longer video. It's just probably going to be a couple weeks out still. Anyways, I hope you have fun with this one, though, and I want to thank you so much for watching. See ya!